priority is protecting the men and women who serve this country.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You gotta move, man.
Get up and go.
All right. How you doing,
I like
William?
your background.
I like yours too.
Thank you.
I think we got the memo. But congratulations on Land of Bad. I really love a good military movie, especially one that
thank
feels
you.
like, yeah, it feels like a popcorn flick, but still really good. Thanks.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, we really wanted to make like a fun, exciting sort of 90s throwback that just like, just really pulled out the stops and had a lot of fun.
So I understand you're the co-writer on the film. What was the inspiration behind it aside from the name?
It really was written a long time ago. We wrote it when I was making the movie The Signal, and it was because I thought at the time you're so scared when you're making your first movie, like, oh, I'll never work again. So I really wanted to make a film that I felt I could follow up with, that was a fun action thriller that hopefully would, be pitchable and makeable. You're always just trying to make something people will make. And a lot happened since then because other films were kind of made about drones. And at the time, The Signal came out, and we went to Sundance, and I got some other films sort of picked up. So Land of Bad just hit the back burner for a while. And then we ended up meeting these real JTACs and went out to Fort Irwin, and we did training with them for weeks. And then we ended up meeting real drone guys, and we were like, wow, the way we wrote this is totally wrong. We had to like redo it all. And so, yeah, just after really meeting the real people and sort of understanding the job better, and, rewriting it all, it was just really about finding this time to do it. Like when, just with other films and whatnot, like when in the schedule we could fit it in, and finally it's come to fruition.
That's awesome. Well, the cast in this is great, and like Liam Hemsworth is awesome. Luke Hemsworth. I mean, both brothers are in it, but yet they're not playing brothers in this. That's what I found quite interesting.
Yeah. No, that was honestly, and we did not even really approach. It's not like we was like, hey guys, we both be in this. No, we really approached them separately. Luke had been in a film with one of my producers before, so he knew him, and yeah, we had sent it out to Liam's guys, and yeah, they just got back to us and like, oh, he's really interested in doing it. And then, Luke had come on board. So yeah, at the time I didn't even know that they had never been in a film together, but it was cool that, we were able to, I guess, be the first one. Yeah, and funny to just like kind of almost like deconstruct their actual relationship so it didn't seem like they knew each other and all that, but both just great guys and tremendous work ethic from them. So,
and of course, you have the iconic Russell Crowe as Reaper, and must have been great working with him on this one as well.
He's the best. He's absolutely the best. He's so committed to his character and like the detail of his work. He would always be like, I'd be like, oh my God, that's great, Russell. And he'd be like, Will, please, 2 more takes, and I promise it'll be 15% better. So it's like, he really just loves, he's just so detailed. He's such a Renaissance man with so much like love for life and just knowledge about all types of art. It's so fun working with him, and he really elevates everyone in the room, whether it's crew or other actors. He really brings everything he's got to the role.
That's awesome. And of course, Milo Ventimiglia, he's another great actor who's in the film. And, once again, he really elevates once he
Absolutely. Yeah. Both Milo just puts so much effort into every bit. It's like physically, emotionally, he just brings it all. And Milo is just, he too is such a sucker for the details. He'll just, a lot of those action scenes would take like 4 days to shoot, and we'd only have 6 hours to do, a pretty wild choreographed scene. So he would be working in his off time, dialing it all in, zoning in on everything. So when it came time to do it, he's like flipping over and doing all this wild shit, doing all his own stunts. he just blew my mind. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. It's just awesome to see.
That's awesome. And like you mentioned, it was a throwback to the '90s military action flick. What were some of your inspirations like that?
Man,
Really,
I love so many of them. Just love movies like Black Hawk Down. I mean, um, just movies that obviously it's Ridley again, but I'm such a Ridley fan. Just movies that really just have that fourth dimension, just like stuff flying through the camera and awesome explosions and characters that you actually sort of can laugh with a little and just you want them to get out of that, uh, out of that situation. I mean, I love movies obviously love Die Hard, and my editor, he started working on The Rock and Con Air. So it was fun getting to work with him and just trying to provide him with as much awesome footage as possible so we could, cut a real zinger.
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with films like Navy SEALs and even some of the older
Yeah.
ones. Even some of the older ones like oh God, it was one of Death Before Dishonor and
Yeah.
Saving Private Hair. Saving Private Hair. I think it was called back in the '80s. Like I grew up with that era, and that's what
Oh,
this
that's
film felt like.
awesome.
It felt like I was watching one of those '80s and '90s
Yeah, that's
early.
amazing.
That's how
That's
I felt while I was
amazing.
watching this.
Very cool. Thank you.
So, how long did shooting take, and what production? What did you? There any issues that you faced during shooting and all that?
Yeah,
Besides
we
timing.
shot for about 42 days, I believe. And it's just, we were in Australia, so there was a lot of rain, a lot of I guess pseudo monsoon. I think we were just after or just before the monsoon season, so we didn't get nailed by any hurricanes or anything like that, but we got a lot of rain. And sometimes we would be in a box canyon that we'd have to evacuate because there was so much rain. And that's always tough because on a movie where it's mostly in the jungle, you don't totally have cover sets that you can run to. So it was constantly a battle, sort of juggling, where we could go. But we survived, and there were a lot of leeches that I didn't even know existed in Australia, but we would get them all the time, and
Oof.
man, it was wild. It was wild, but
Felt like you had your own little meta movie within
we did, yeah,
within
movie
a movie,
making
basically
movie.
your own little battle movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
So finally, what's next for you after this movie that you could talk about?
Oh man, just I'm always working on a few different things. There's with some of these guys, I'm doing another film called Blue Fly, which is kind of my version of Heart of Darkness, where they're going up the river to retrieve a downed prototype aircraft, and then you find out it's an alien ship, and that Kurtz is kind of on the ship with them, and he's an alien. So it's a very surreal sci-fi thriller. Uh, but that we'll see if that happens next. It's in this business, you never know who's gonna finally give you the money and press the big green button and say go. So we will see.
Awesome. Well, everyone, check out Land of Bad on February 16th. If you love a good military action flick, even a throwback to the old school days, you're going to want to see this one. And William, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it.
Hey, thank you so much, Albert. I appreciate it.
All right, you take care. Have a good day.
Cheers, you too.
All right, bye bye.